Uh, I'll text him later. Nah, I'll text him right now. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. So, this is a little different than some of the other stuff I've done. Welcome to my Let's Play of Pokemon Radical Red. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, and I've been a fan of Let's Plays for as long as I've been on YouTube. And I wanted to do more things for myself that I enjoy without expecting or trying to achieve like a positive result, if that makes sense. I kind of want to do more stuff for me. And Let's Plays is kind of up there because Let's Plays are kind of dead. So this is kind of weird to do on the channel. Maybe not that weird because I do have some video game stuff on it, but I kind of want to explore this. And I also wanted to do Let's Play Pokemon Unbound. But in the style of Chicken Conroy, where it's a lot more like informational based and it acts more as a guide and really explains and goes deep into the game mechanics and the things that you can do in that region and the game itself. That requires a lot of note-taking and studying and prep work, which I'm kind of doing, but I'm taking my sweet old time with that. But today, I wanted to do Pokemon Radical Red, because while I'm doing the prep work for the Pokemon Unbound Let's Play, that I feel like really deserves a really in-depth Let's Play, I want to do Radical Red, which is made by Scaly789, who made Unbound as well. I believe they made the Fire Red upgrade system, which is a ROM hack an upgrade of the engine, of the battle engine used in Fire Red. So it includes a lot of stuff from the older generations, like more Pokemon, the special and physical split, the fairy type that was added in Generation 6, Mega Evolution, a bunch of moves, and a lot of tools for other people to add things as well. Pokemon Fire Red, I've barely even played, and my friend suggested that while I work on getting Pokemon Unbound ready to do a Let's Play of, I should just play Pokemon Radical Red blind, since I was already doing that. The thing is, if you know anything about Radical Red or Unbound, it's gonna be difficult. Extremely so. And I've only played up to Viridian Forest. Like, I beat all the trainers in Viridian Forest, and then I got out. I didn't get out of Viridian Forest. I mean, like, I got out of the game to play the rest with y'all. So I do have an idea of the team I want to build, but I do know this game is going to have a lot of EV training, IV breeding, and team building. So, which is going to be a little different than probably other Let's Plays of Pokemon. Like if you were to go see Pokemon Emerald Let's Play, or even like a Pokemon Black and White or Scarlet and Violet, it won't include things like the team building we'll have to do for this game, because this game is known as, I believe, as more of a difficulty ROM hack while adding a bunch of mechanics from older generations. Newer generations. So yeah. And I'll explain all that as we go for people that don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I also wanted to treat this as a... Oh, that's not gonna have enough. Oh, I don't have a select button on this guy. Oh, that could bite me in the ass later. Oh, wait. That'll be useful later. Because I need a soft reset for Pokemon. In the very beginning, actually. For reasons we'll get to when we get there. What was I saying? Oh, yes! Ooh, Gary. This is, I believe it follows the same plot as just regular Pokemon Red. Ah, okay, so this is important. Do you want to simply play Radical Red without any custom options? No. Difficulty... Oh, no, we want... I think we do, actually. Normal mode. Minimal grinding mode. No, because that takes away, EVs and... It takes away the IVs and makes all the Pokemon with perfect IVs, and I don't want to do that. One of the things I wanted to bring up is... I wanted to use this as a learning experience to get used to recording myself and to get myself used to recording Let's Plays and video game stuff. So yeah. So I do have an idea of what I want to do for this game. Oh, cool! I forgot about this. This is cool. Because I know this game gives the player a ton of different tools to make, to customize your team, which is something I'm really excited for. Because that's like one of the funnest things in Pokemon for me, but like, a lot of the in-depth team building mechanics is usually locked for the post-game, for either multiplayer or like... Well, that was disgusting. I need to cut that out. Oh man, I get really distracted super easily when it's something I'm scared to do. A lot of the in-depth mechanics are locked behind in the post-game for multiplayer and for online content. So being able to do that as you play through the main story is really exciting. That's one of the reasons why I really like Pokemon Unbound, and I even recorded a video that I'm still editing of that, of my feelings about that, so I can upload to the channel later. So this game gives, to my understanding, the player as much advantage and help towards that end as possible, while retaining a really difficult challenge of beating these trainers. Oh yeah, we even are able to choose the starter that we like from whatever region, up to Gen 9, which is kind of crazy. Yes, so I can even show you Johto, Bowen, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola, Galar, and Paldea, which is really cool. I do know what I want, and it's gonna be the most basic shit you could think of, which is gonna be one of the Kanto starters of Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. I plan on trying to make a Sun team, and because I know Mega Evolution is a thing in this game, and I haven't been able to run a Mega Charizard in so long, and I love both Mega Charizards, Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. So I plan on actually making a Sun team using Mega Charizard Y. But it's really cool that you can do these. It's really cool because using some of these starters would be really tempting if I didn't want to use a Mega Charizard. And I know that's super basic because everybody loves Charizard, but I'm with that camp too. Oh, no, I don't have no preference. If you say no, I believe you just can use one of the Kanto starters. Oh, that's right, this has a night and day cycle as well. I believe... I don't know if Fire Red had a night and day cycle. I never played the original Fire Red, I only played the original Red. Lead the way. Oh, there's a Stuffle down there. I didn't even get to explore that. So I'm kind of breezing through the beginning because I've already done all this before. And I apologize that I'm not like reading everything. And maybe I should, but I'm not feeling it right now. We'll do that later, maybe. I hope we get to fight Oak, actually. So in the original Pokemon Red, you can find in the game files, because they had to cut out a lot of stuff, that Professor Oak was actually going to be a trainer that you could fight, and he was going to have the remaining starter Pokemon that was left over, and you can even find out his team and stuff in the game files. So that'd be really cool if they bring him back like that in this ROM hack. That'd be really cool. Oh, so this is why I needed to figure out how to soft reset. Soft reset stands for software reset without having an easy way to reset the game over and over again. It's because I want to farm for a female Charmander. That way I have access to breeding. For those that don't understand breeding mechanics, without getting too in depth for it right now, Pokemon are separated into different egg groups, and any Pokemon within the same egg group can breed with each other and to produce an egg. But the egg, when it hatches, that Pokemon will always be the species of the mother. So, I believe one of the most common field groups, egg groups, is called the field egg group, and I believe Charmander is a part of that. So, for example, I believe Rattata, who in this hypothetical situation is in the field group, you could breed a Charmander and Rattata to pretty much try to breed their genetics together and try to get the best parts of the genetics of the Charmander and the Rattata into a new Pokemon. But you have to make sure that the female, that the mother, is a Charmander if you're trying to get better genetics on a Charmander. Hence why I need to get a female Charmander if I want to breed down a better Charmander.
Batman, I caught a little Pokemon. Do you want to know what Pokemon I caught?
Which will eventually become our Charizard for Mega Charizard Y for our team. Let's see. Male. Okay, we're gonna accept him for now, so we can look at his nature. I do know we don't have to worry about natures. Natures is something we'll explain once we are able to change it. But for those that do know, natures is a way to customize your Pokemon further, and they're important for competitive and in-depth like team building. This game does allow an easy way to customize natures, so we don't have to breed for that. It's not a genetic thing we have to worry about specifically. It's really easy and really easy to handle. But I want to look at our Pokemon's nature, Corky, to make sure that whenever we soft reset, we don't get the same nature over and over again, because if we do, that means that we are just picking up the same Charmander, and we're not having a chance for a female. Oh, dang! Second try! Okay, so I'm gonna name this Charmander the same name that I gave it before on my playthrough on my Steam Deck, which was Grace. I really love giving nicknames to my Pokemon. I'll only be naming them nicknames once they're either going to be kept in our team or I'll be using them temporarily. So even though this Charmander won't be the final Charmander on our team, she's still going to have a larger role to play, at least for now. So I'll be giving her the name of Grace. And Gary's gonna pick Squirtle. Okay. I do want to see the nature. So I do know this game, all held items when consumed in battle, are returned after the end of the battle, which is really cool. So held items is another way to customize your Pokemon and stuff. Adamant, oh, that sucks. Ah. Okay. Wait, that actually helps us out in the very beginning. So, adamant natures, and all natures in general, a nature will go ahead and reduce one stat by 10%, while increasing the stat of another by 10%. So, adamant nature reduces the special attack by 10%, but increases the physical attack by 10%. And you can tell when you go into the Pokemon stats by the colors. So if it's black, that means it's not being affected by the nature whatsoever. If it's blue, that means it's being decreased by the nature. And if it's red, that means it's being increased by the nature. Special attacks are, because this has the physical and special split that was introduced in Generation 4, all attacks are split into, if they do damage, are split into two categories of attack, physical and special. All special attacks will use the special attack stat. All physical attacks will use the attack stat. Charmander, all the way up to Charizard, their best attacking stat is special attack, not physical attack. The only time you want to have a physical attack in Charizard, because it's gonna always be lower than your special attack, is if you're going to use a Mega Charizard X. Because Mega Charizard X has, it increases their physical attack to even be stronger than their special attack, and has an ability that goes along with that. And I believe there'll be a way to actually see our IVs later, which are Pokemon genetics that we'll talk about later. Cool. Wait, let's check out our Pokemon. I do know this Pokemon ROM hack actually does rebalance a lot of things. Like it adds new typings to some of the Pokemon, changes around their stats, and adds a bunch of moves. So this is going to be a learning experience for everyone involved if they have never seen or played this game before. Ooh. Okay, that's cool. I think it's always best to lead off with the stat reduction move to begin with in this first fight. Just once, and then just to spam attacking. I don't know if it's possible to lose this first fight, because if you know anything about False Swipe, it always leaves your opponent at 1 HP. It's a move that's supposed to make capturing opponent, like wild Pokemon, easy. So it's actually really nice to have that in the beginning, because I do love capturing and catching a bunch of Pokemon. You're gonna find out how I like to play these Pokemon games in just a moment, actually. It's gonna suck when he gets a Mega Blastoise. Oh, lord. Now if we go to our Pokemon, you can see that Grace is still holding the Ornament that was used in battle. Isn't that neat? That's super cool. Yeah, and they even added like overworld sprites for some of these like Pokemon that comes in later generations, like stuff will be introduced in Generation 7. I don't want to bother. I don't want to bother with capturing Pokemon and leveling up just yet, mainly because I want access to Pokeballs first before I do any of this. I'm just gonna run. Ah, Poochyena. I love Poochyena. Mightyena and Poochyena are one of my favorite Pokemons in Generation 3, so I'm definitely gonna run one of those to begin with. believe, yep. If you go here, just like in the original Pokemon Red and Fire Red, we want to get that Perso, so we can go ahead and get the Pokedex. And after that, we'll be able to get the access to actually buy Pokeballs. Oh man, I was so excited to play this. I'm gonna be honest, I was so nervous to start this Let's Play, but I also really wanted to play Pokemon Radical Red, and I told myself that I wasn't gonna play anymore unless it's on camera, to force myself to do this Let's Play. Oh, Belle, how is my old Pokemon? Well, it seems to be growing more attached to you. You must be talented as a Pokemon trainer. Not to hype my horn a little too much, but I think you made the right choice, Professor Oak. What's that? You have something for me? I don't think they ever explain what's in Oak's parcel. I believe, like, in the anime, when they kind of recreated the scene, it was supposed to be like the G-Ball, if y'all know what I'm talking about. It's this like weird event Pokeball that was like in the BIOS of the original Generation 2 games, which was Gold, Silver, and Crystal. That was supposed to be used for some kind of in-game event to catch a legendary, I believe Celery. And they even, I think they showed it in the anime, or in some kind of material. Oh, hey, it is a Pokeball. Ah, it's the custom Pokeball. I had it on order. Thank you. Gramps. I almost forgot. What did you call me for? Oh, right. I have a request for you two. On the desk, there's my invention, the Pokédex. It's kind of crazy that the Pokédex was invented by Professor Oak. It makes you wonder what they did before that. I know in Pokemon Legends Arceus, they had like they kind of had a Pokédex, but it was mainly like a giant collection of written entries made by the professor of I forgot his name, but the professor in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I believe those were all accounts by that professor, like handwritten accounts that he did based off of your research. Because what you had to do in that game is you had to capture Pokemon multiple times and use them and do specific requirements to like actually get a complete entry for that Pokemon. And I believe just by doing that, that professor was able to add in understand the Pokemon and actually make a Pokedex entry. But it doesn't make you wonder like what people's understanding of Pokemon were more before the Pokedex, because we only got a glimpse of that in, not a glimpse, we got a whole ass game, but I'd like to see more, is what I'm trying to say. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Now we just get that shit on our phones, man. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, just get a Rotom phone and it's just like an app. Belle and Gary, take these with you. Now we got the Pokedex. You must catch them to obtain complete data. That's one of the things that's always been interesting, is Professor Oak needs you to go complete the Pokedex by capturing Pokemon, but the moment you capture Pokemon, the entry is filled. But from whose point of view? It's assumed it's Professor Oak's because he completed the Pokedex. But if he already has every entry for every Pokemon, why do you need to fill it out if they already exist? It's odd. This is a really weird world, but I love it. So, here are tools for catching wild Pokemon. Sweet. Belle put. Oh, sorry. When a wild Pokemon appears, it's fair game. Okay. Alright, Gramps, leave it all to me. Belle, I hate to say it, but you will be necessary for this because you suck major balls. Hey! You suck balls. I know, I'll borrow a town map from my sis. I'll tell her not to lend you one, Belle. Don't bother coming to my place after this. I'm gonna go to visit your sister, that's for sure. Gonna get real intimate with her. And I think... Yeah, the stuff will move. Sweet. I believe her name's Daisy. Grandpa asked you to run an errand? Gee, that's lazy then. Here, this will help. Thanks, Daisy. Hey, her name is Daisy. Sweet. If we actually look at the town map... I love this, by the way. The way that they separate all the different menus into these different bags. That's so cool. That's so neat. This is what Kanto looks like? Man, it's been so long since I played Gen 1. Yeah. This is wild. Where the Victory Road's right over here. Sick. Now, I do know you can actually go capture starter Pokemon. Because if we go to the Pokedex, numerical mode, go to Charmander, you know how whenever you play the games, you can actually see their habitats, meaning like where you can go capture them. Usually for the starters, it would be a giant question mark because there's no way for to catch them in the wild. Here, you can. Isn't that cool? Now I do need to catch them in order to see that. Wait. Oh, that's fucking sick. We don't even have to capture them before we... That's really great, because normally you have to capture them to know where their habitat is to go cat more. Which is kind of counterproductive, because you need to know where to get them, or just, like, stumble upon them. This is really helpful, because I do want, I'm gonna want some of the starters. Because the way I like to play Pokemon games is I like to catch every single one of those little bastards. I try to complete the Pokedex as much as I can, just because I have a lot of fun doing that. I don't go out of my way to use every Pokemon to evolve them, but if I don't have them in the Pokedex and I run into them, I will capture them. And I think that's going to be really useful for this game, where we're going to be swapping out our team and changing our strategy as we play. Are we going to get absolutely bodied by the Lechonk? Nah. I'm actually scared he's gonna do a bunch of damage now. Oh, the cool thing about this game is that the level cap before each gym is actually... it's quite low, it seems. Like, you reach it very fast. But I kind of like that because it never feels like, one, you're too over leveled to make the gym fight too easy. And also it makes it so that it's easier to use other Pokemon in your strategy. I don't know if this game has some kind of like XP boost inherently, or reduces the XP needed to level up your Pokemon, but it definitely feels like that from the little bit I played. Because I had like a full team of level 15 Pokemon before I got out of Viridian Forest. And some of the Pokemon fights were giving me a bunch of trouble. I'm sorry. Disgusting. So I don't plan on using Lechonk. Lechonk is a real Pokemon for anyone wondering. Sweet. Wait. Auto run. Heck yeah. Sweet. I'm excited to see what other features this game has as well. There's one that I'm excited to show everyone, actually. Sweet. Oh, if anyone's wondering, I don't believe this game has any Figmon, which are, like, custom-made or fan-made Pokemon that aren't compatible to the series. Ah, shit. So every Pokemon that you've seen is real. So if you're new to this game and you haven't played since like Generation 3, you're gonna see a lot of new stuff. Did you know you can take your Pokemon out of its Pokeball? Sometimes it's nice to let them get some fresh air. Because your Grace would like to come out of its ball. Yes. I do notice that this has made the game a little slower. Because you have to wait for your Pokemon to kind of catch up with you whenever you're going through doors and like, over ledges. But it's so cool to have your Pokemon follow you, just like back in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Ooh, this is the thing. We can actually change the nature of our Pokemon. I know gender swap apparently only applies to Pokemon where the gender actually matters. Like, for some Pokemon, their forms are different for gender, or they can only evolve if they have a specific gender. This mainly applies to things like Salandit? Is that what it's called? Sandile? The Pokemon that evolves into Salazzle. And Combee, because the only way to evolve a Combee into a Vespiquen is if it's a female Combee. And I think Esper into Meowstic, their forms are different, their stats are different. So I think it applies to that as well. I can swap the genders of a Snorunt, Rod, Skirly, Salandit, that's the one that evolves into Salazzle. Burmy, Combee, Esper, Basculin, or the Chonk. This can be necessary as they need specific genders for their evolutions. Nope. So we won't be able to swap the gender of our Charmander Grace, because it doesn't change their stats whatsoever. But, as I stated before, it is good that we got a female. We're gonna change her nature though. We can change Pokemon's nature free of charge. Yes. And we're gonna change it to that nature I specified earlier of Modest. Actually, I didn't specify that. But I wanted to change it from Item to Modest because it does the exact same thing but vice versa. Fantastic. So, I stated that I wanted to build a Sun team. What that means is there's a weather condition called Sun that powers up all Fire-type moves and reduces the damage of all Water-type moves, while also interacting with a bunch of other stuff. Mainly different Pokemon moves and different Pokemon abilities. There's a lot of synergies you can do with it that I'm really excited to play with because I've never ran a weather team in while going through the story of a mainline Pokemon game. So it's gonna be exciting to do so. I don't know what Pokemon to use quite yet. I'm gonna have to build it as we go along. But I do have an idea of a few of them. So we need a Pokemon that can actually set up Sun, which is going to be our Mega Charizard Y. Access to Mega Charizard Y, I have no idea when that is. So we're gonna have to probably find a different Pokemon that set up Sun. Or at least find the TM for Sunny Day to set up Sun. Pokemon that have the ability Drought is optimal because those Pokemon can actually swap in, or whenever you send them out into battle, they'll immediately set up the Sun weather condition. Those Pokemon are, I believe, Torkoal, Groudon, Ninetales, and Mega Charizard Y. If there's other Pokemon that can do that, I don't know of them, and there might be some changes to this game where other Pokemon might have the ability Drought. I do know our best bet is to find a Ninetales for that. Either a Ninetales or a Torkoal. I think it's Torkoal that has it. Groudon is not going to be a viable option purely because that's a legendary. I have no idea when legendaries are going to be available in this game, and it's most likely going to be very late. So our best bet is probably Ninetales. I believe that's its hidden ability. Pokemon have up to 2 to 3 different abilities that can come with. They will have 2 main abilities and a hidden ability. Some Pokemon only have 1 main ability, but main abilities, they're usually like a 50-50 split of which one they come with. Hidden abilities, you typically have to get them through some kind of event or some kind of different method to find them. They're a lot harder to get. They used to be locked behind the Pokemon Dream World that was introduced back in Generation 5, where you had to connect your game to like a browser game for some reason, and then send your Pokemon from there, from your game on your DS to this browser website, so you could have them sleep, and then while they're sleeping, you can enter the Pokemon's dream, which is a dream world, and encounter Pokemon there that you could capture and then send to the real world, and they would have their dream world abilities, which is now dubbed hidden abilities. Thankfully, that's been changed in the later generations, so you don't have to deal with all that, where typically you just have to get them either through events that you can just breed down, or you can find them in-game through some kind of method. Typically now it's through the Dex Nav, at least in this game. The Dex Nav, we don't have access to yet, but we're gonna look out for that eventually. I do want more Pokeballs. Do I have enough? I do! Fantastic. Anytime you buy Pokeballs, buy them in sets of 10, because if you do, you get a Premier Ball. And the Premier Ball is my favorite Pokeball of all time. Is it? It's up there. It's one of the top 3, I believe. So yeah, it's really good. The Premier Ball is quite literally just a regular Pokeball, but it's white and has red accents, and I love it. Funnily enough, the Premier Ball, there's no way to buy the Premier Balls outright. You always have to buy them. You can only get them through a gift every time you buy Pokeballs in sets of 10. So you can buy Great Balls, Ultra Balls, Tyrant Balls, whatever you want. As long as you get them in sets of 10, you get a free Premier Ball. It was only in Generation 6, Pokemon X and Y, where we can actually buy Premier Balls in one of the shops. And that hasn't come back since, which is kind of a shame. I do understand why they do it, because it does kind of give the Premier Balls kind of this novelty to it, and kind of makes it a bit more memorable and special, and I like that a lot. But it is a shame. I wish there was a way to get Premier Balls more efficiently without having to spend a bunch of cash. But yeah, I will be using Premier Balls for Pokemon that I really, really like, that eventually I want to use in the team. I'll also be talking to NPCs. I probably won't say everything. Oh, I should buy potions. This game does not allow the use of items in battle, so that sucks major balls. So things like antidotes, paralyzed heals, or potions you can't use in battle. But that does make certain moves a lot more integral to team building and strategies. One Pokemon that I do want to use is a Pokemon that has Heal Bell. Why not? Have my coffee, that's what I need to get going. What's that Ripbox you have? The Pokedex, right. Sweet, Teacher TV, cool. Thanks. Tight, alright. Oh, this is new. Oh, you must be Belle. Sorry, I've almost didn't recognize you. I'm one of Oak's aides. I was just picking up some packages for the professor. I think I wanted to give you this, but didn't manage to get it on time. You received the Dex Nav! Nice. To access the Dex Nav from the start menu, click the button. I've also upgraded your Pokedex to the National Dex. While I'm here, I may as well give you these too. Which are Oran Berries. Sweet. Take care. Ooh. Thanks. So with the Dex Nav, what this does, it allows you to encounter a specific Pokemon on this on a route. Here, I can just show you. So I actually do want a Poochyena. So what you can do is that as soon as you find a Pokemon on a route, it shows that it's available here, right? And it also shows there's other Pokemon that we haven't found yet. Now we can register it, and we can scan, we use the Pokedex, Pokedex, to find it. Once we do that, a bush will shake, and that is guaranteed to be a Poochyena. And then you can do this over and over and over again to a consecutive chain, and the higher the chain goes, the better, the higher chance of having either better Pokemon IVs, which are Pokemon genetics that we'll get into more later whenever we do breeding for a better Charmander. Egg moves, which are moves that can only be bred onto a Pokemon, so you don't want to do that. And, most importantly, the hidden ability. So if you want access to a Pokemon's hidden ability, you're going to want to use the Pokénav. I'm not too worried about capturing the female Poochyena for now. So I'm just gonna catch it. No, let's not give you anything quite yet. I do want to see what ability to get, because Poochyena has 2 abilities that they can get of Runaway and Quick Feet. I know Quick Feet changes in this game because I've had to look it up. But their other ability is really good. Poochyena's Runaway ability, when they evolve into Mightyena, becomes Intimidate, which is such a good ability. It makes Mightyena this kind of useless Pokemon to actually have a role, which is really nice. While Quick Feet just stays Quick Feet, and it's pretty bad. I know Quick Feet changes. I believe it changes to either Tough Claws or Strong Jaw, which might be fun to play with, but I would like Intimidate. So, now that we've played for a while, I think... Oh man, I've been playing for quite a bit. But we're gonna end it off relatively soon. We're gonna go ahead and just capture a female Poochyena with Runaway and call it quits there. If you want to do Pokénav chaining, you do need to knock out or capture the Pokemon that you're casting. And if you run into any Pokemon that's not in this shaky bush, it will get rid of your chain. As you can see, I'm up to number 3, this being the 3rd Poochyena. If I run into a Pokemon while I was going through those bushes, it would ruin the chain. So it's best to use a repel. I don't have any repels, so we're just gonna have to suck it up and hope for the best. Ooh, Brick Break, that's nice. That's gonna be really useful because the first gym is going to be against Rock, which is a Rock type, and Rock is weak to fight. Oh, Runaway, nice. Oh, and you're female, fantastic. As you saw on the Pokénav, Dexnav, I think it's called Dexnav. Those stars next to it, I believe that means like their IVs, meaning that they have better IVs than you. And once we capture this Poochyena, I believe it means it has 1 or 2 IVs. We'll find out whenever we can. Oh, I guess it's already Poochyena. Because I do want to use a Poochyena, we're gonna hope we get caught in this burrito. Nice. And I do have a name for you. I'm gonna name you the same thing I named the Poochyena in my first few bits of play, which was Eclipse. Nice. Ah, sweet. So I think it does mean that 1 star means 1 perfect IV. You can tell because of the S. That means that IVs stand for individual values. They are Pokemon genetics. They range from 1 to 31, meaning that's how many extra stat points that stat will get at level 100. 31 being the highest. S stands for 31. So cool. So whenever you're breeding Pokemon, you're gonna want to try to get perfect or really good IVs on the stats that matter most. And we'll go more into that later. But yeah, that's a really good... What the hell is that? That looks like a Dynamax Den? From Generation 8, which is Sword and Shield. I guess Dynamax Pokemon are in this game. That's cool. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining. Yeah. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you all next time. I do plan on releasing a video at least once a week. And I hope we get to see each other again. Alrighty. Have a good one, Have a good day, everybody.